Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? I hope this is not a harbinger of the show to come. I don't like rushing into a show. I'm over here preparing, doing the last couple of things that I want to get, organizing all of my exhibits and stuff like that. It's a lot of stuff that we need to get through, and we have to do it in a reasonable amount of time. And then I get a message from Aki like, hey, what's going on? Where are you? And I was like, what are you talking about? I got 10 more minutes. The show starts at 6 o'clock. She's like, no, you set it for 5:45. And lo and behold, I did. I set it for 5:45. So I want to apologize for being 5 minutes late. I think it's just 5 minutes late. Let me check the time over here. Yeah, it's 5:52. So 7 minutes late. I apologize for that. But I'm here. But I rushed in. I didn't just say, forget about those guys. They can wait for me. Of course, I'd never think about you guys like that or talk about you guys like that. You guys are the world to me. But I was like, hey, stop everything you're doing. Get to the live. So anyway, I'm here. Strategic is back again. I hope you guys had a great weekend. We do have a lot to talk about, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest with you. I was listening to Grizzly True Crime while I was setting up, so I kind of lost track of my own show. That shows you when you're a fan of somebody that you lose track of your own show because you're listening to somebody else. I shouldn't have told you that. I don't want you to go over there right now. Stay here with me right now. You can catch her on the real play. So anyway, guys, we have a lot to talk about. I had to change the title of the show because we were going to talk about, we're going to do a deep dive of the grandmother's interview, and I listened to the grandmother's interview, and it's not really probative, ladies and gentlemen. It's not probative. There's not a lot going on there, but there's so much more for us to talk about, so we're just going to move on and talk about those things. But I want to play two audios for you guys. I want to play the Stephen Stearns audio, one of his interviews, because I want to go back to it and pick up on when he talks about Maddie with her crush. I think his tone, his delivery, it's telling, and I believe that her having this crush on this kid is part of the reasons why she's not with us. I also want to play a video of when the police are showing Jen Soto photos, and haven't listened to that yet. So we're going to react to that together. And then we're going to read some of these documents that came out with the newest dump. I want to read the summary of the police summary of the interview that was done with Stephen Stearns' kind of like in-between ex-girlfriend, the one he was dating when he broke up with Jen very briefly and all that stuff. One thing that's really confusing to me about this case is the state of Jen and Stephen's relationship during the time of Maddie's untimely passing, when she was taken away from us. And I hope as more documents come, more interviews come, we can kind of get to the bottom of that, because that matters to me. Because supposedly they were broken up. Then it kind of came out that the only reason why he moved out was because his father no longer wanted to pay Jen Soto's father rent anymore. Because once again, if you didn't know, Jen Soto, Madeline Soto, and Stephen Stearns were all living in Jen Soto's father's condominium. That was not Jen Soto's house. Now, for some reason, people get mad at me when I point that out. They get really pissed off and they say, that's not fair, Strategic. You called Jen Soto a bum. You were very rude just because she lives with her mother, her father, and shame on you, Strategic, for talking like that. I just got to say this before we move any further, guys. That just jogged my memory on this. I'm talking about Jen Soto, the mother who fed her daughter to a pedophile, a homicidal, sexual deviant maniac that other women who slept with him legally, consensually, lawfully, who shared their bed with him said, wow, I don't know why I did that. That guy was a weirdo. He creeped me out. His past lovers say he creeped them out. I'm not talking about you. We're talking about a woman who the police believe has more empathy for her child's killer and abuser than she did for her own child. It's documented. We read over it. It's in previous videos I've done. You can check it out for yourself. We're not talking about you because maybe you fell on hard times and you need to live with your parents. Stop projecting, people. It's very, how should I say, uncouth. It's unbecoming of an adult. You should know the difference between your presenter talking about a very flawed and messed up individual and you. I'm not talking about you. I don't know you. All right. So let's keep going, guys. It's very interesting when you get on these YouTube streets to understand the culture of YouTube and all the happenings that happen in YouTube. I do want to give a big shout out to Semi72, who's now a Strategic Eyes recruit. I want to give a shout out to Kelly Davis with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And Mindy Mad with a $20 super sticker saying, thanks for being you. Thank you so much, Mindy, for, actually, I'm sorry, I couldn't see. It's very far away. It's Mindful Mad. Mindful Mad. It's a little far away. You guys can't tell the difference, but it's a little far away. Thank you so much, Mindful, for that donation. Amy Cray is now a patrol member of the Strategic Eyes family, and Sweet and Grace is now a recruit member of the Strategic Eyes membership. And we have Ursula David and Amanda Colburn, who are also brand new recruit members, and we appreciate all you guys for joining the family, joining the team, and hopefully you'll get value out of your membership. I love the membership. I put a lot of effort into making sure everybody gets value for their dollar. All right, let's keep going. So where do we start? I don't even know. I guess the first thing we could do to start the show off is to move me over in the corner there. Boom, like magic. And I guess we could start with the audio. We could start with some of these crime scene photos. Let's start with the crime scene photos. All right. If I obstruct anything, I'll just take myself away. And kind of like, like this, let you guys be able to see it without me. But I'm going to try and keep myself on the screen as much as possible. Big shout out to Charlotte Foster, who's now a recruit. Appreciate you. Let me just turn this off right here so we don't hear all these sound effects in the background. All right, so it looks like we have an umbrella here. It can't zoom out any further, but it looks like it's an umbrella of some sort. I'm looking at this middle portion here. Let's keep going. I think this is the stuff that was removed from Jen Sotos' car. So we have like a dirty rag. That's pretty normal. When you have a car, you want to have a rag in there so you can, change tires, get on your knees, do things. I would suggest you do that if you haven't done it. And some clothing. Let's keep going. I don't know what that is. Indian River Select. I guess that's like some water or something like that, or maybe some flavored water. Looks like one of those bathroom carpets that you keep inside of your bathroom on the floor. I don't know what that is, but it looks like tire. A jack is over here. Cane. This looks like an emergency light. So, yep, easy flare. That's pretty good. So she has some pretty standard stuff that you should have in your car. So if you don't have it, take some advice from this negligent mother, and update your stock in your car so that if you're in a bind, you can get some safety. This is the tire that it appears to be the tire that was blown out. That was on the Stearns's vehicle. So I don't know if this stuff actually came, that picture actually came from Stearns' car or not. This is more stuff. Let's keep going. And now we're going to get to the interior of the vehicle. See some handprints that looks like it could be smudged blood. If that is a Stearns car, the Stearns did say during their interview with police that they used the vehicle as a transport vehicle for their dogs. And depending on what the circumstance, there could be feces back there. There could be blood back there because sometimes their dogs will get surgical procedures, docking of the tails, etc., that could result in the dog's bleeding or something to that effect. So they could just be saying that to give some kind of cover for Stephen Stearns, because the father did say, so whoever's forensically testing the car, tell them don't get too excited if they hit on blood. He should know that they're going to test it anyway and figure out whether it's human blood or not, because he's a former law enforcement officer. He was a police officer for a couple of years till, as he described in his video, he came across a businessman. He had a conversation with the businessman. The man told him about how he had a take-home car and, weekends off and holidays off and all that stuff. And Chris Stearns says, hey, I want that life. That sounds like the life for me. So then he quit being a cop and went into being a salesperson, where he worked for, I think, Kraft's Foods or some other company for like 25 years. And I guess his second career for him after he retired is doing real estate. So I don't know if he's covering for his son or if he's telling the truth, but it's possible what could be back there could be blood, or it could be the remnants of what the Stearns was saying. I personally believe that most of the killing occurred in the home. And when that makes sense, most of the killing, I guess I should rephrase that by saying most of the crime scene probably occurred in the home. The car is a secondary crime scene, and the dumping of the body is a third crime scene. In that, I believe that she probably wasn't bleeding or anything like that when she's in the car, but I could be wrong. I certainly could be wrong. Let's keep going. And what does that say? Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Can't really read that. Zoom out just a bit. Something, door, decorating. I don't know. Don't really know what that is. Let's keep going. But they do have the top blacked out, so that they're trying to kind of basically protect something back there. I don't know if there's a name on there or what, but let's keep going. So this is the car. Don't worry, she probably does not have this plate anymore, so it's not like she's being doxxed or something like that. She still has that plate, then she is definitely even less smart than we believe she is. Let's keep going. Evidence seals, etc. That's so that they can tell whether the car was tampered with or not. Let's keep going. You know what? I need a glass of water. Sorry, guys. Let me just text my daughter upstairs. Say, hey, baby, can you please bring me a glass of water? Please bring me a large glass of water. I had like a protein shake, and it was really thick, and it just feel like it dehydrated me for some reason. But anyway, let's keep going. So these seals are important because it shows if the car was tampered with. I'm not sure if she's going to get this car back, to be honest with you, anytime soon. The funny thing about when they take these cars in for evidence or repossess it or whatever, you still have to pay a monthly car note on it if you are financing a car or even leasing it. So she's paying for this car and she doesn't even have it. This car is literally evidence. So I don't know if she'll be able to get this back until after the trial is done. Let's keep going. And there's the keys right there. And so now we go to the storage unit. And this is where they found where Stephen went in the middle of the night. And they also found CSAM hidden in there. Big shout out to Kelly Davis with another $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Kelly, for supporting the channel. All right, let's keep going. It's the layout of it. So I guess this door right here. So these are outer photos. Typical crime scene photos. You want to get your outer, you want to get your inner, you want to get your overall photos. You want to get it from, you want to use oblique lighting. You want to, just to remind you guys, as I said in a previous video, I am a crime scene technician, certified. I am not a crime scene technician in the police department. When I was working for state corrections, I was trained to be a crime scene technician. It's the same training that they use in policing. Now I'm an investigator, so I don't do crime scene. They have a crime scene unit that does crime scene. But when I was in corrections, investigators did everything. We did investigate and we did our own crime scenes. So I've been trained to tech, that's how you call it, murder scenes, any type of crime scene, and even accident reconstruction, using a total station for accident, for accidents. The total station is like this kind of like a laser 3D kind of imaging tool that can recreate the accidents or whatever. So I am certified to do it. I don't use it anymore. My crime scene techs, the scenes that I've teched rather, have been used in state and federal court. State and federal court, believe it or not. In the federal court case, I spoke about that, a different show where the Justice Department took on one of our jail cases, and they, of course, they have their own crime scene, but when they come after the fact and the case is already being adjudicated in state court and they decide they want to bring it to federal court, they feel like a federal law was violated, which in this case it was. They took my evidence that I had already submitted to state court. They took that for the federal case. So my crime scenes that I have teched have been used in both state and federal court. It's a great accomplishment. I'm very proud of it. But when I look at these things and I review these crime scene photos, I'm not just reviewing it as a experienced police officer. I'm not just reviewing it as an experienced investigator, but I'm also reviewing it as a certified, New York State certified crime scene technician. And where did I get my certification? It was, oh man, forgot the PD that they sent us to. Well, it's New York State. They're all the DCJS or whatever. Sanctioned school. But anyway, let's keep going. Police department that was hosting us and teaching us that day, that week rather. All right, let's keep going. So this is the inside of that storage area. Let's keep going. So I think they just kind of get like an overall, but I'm wondering. So this I found very interesting, guys. When I saw it, it's like he has his own little server room in there. So I'm asking myself, why does he have that in there? And so the father's like, hey, he didn't really have access to go to the storage unit, but why do you have like a remote server area in a storage room? Like this thing is on too, guys. Like I'm pretty tech savvy. Like this looks like a server. Like he's running this computer as a server. So, like this is a storage room, guys. See? He's got, look, he's got everything in here. What is this called? I forgot. I used to have a 16 one because in the previous house, I was running some serious networking stuff, but this is basically a network manager. He's got a network manager there. I don't even know what he would need that for, but he has one. Let's keep going. This looks like this is a surveillance system here. This Hikvision. He's got cable here. Yeah. It's on. Wi-Fi. She's got a APC power, backup power, emergency backup power. What do they call these things? You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, surge protector. And it has backup power, so if the power goes out, if you hook it up to your computer right, it'll automatically shut the computer down safely so you don't lose any memory. I have that right now in my server. So it doesn't appear, now after looking at all the video, it doesn't appear that it's a server. It looks like he has surveillance here. So that's what it looks like. Because the only thing I saw, because this looks like a Wi-Fi, this looks like Wi-Fi right here. And the only thing I saw was the Hikvision surveillance system here. It's really weird though. I don't even know. I don't know. Without seeing the entire room, maybe it's elsewhere, because also look at this. Like there's a lot of plugs going into, like he's got, look, I don't know what this is right here. This could be some type of computer, or it could be another APC unit. I'm not sure. But that's a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm wondering why. And it's plugged in, and it's rocking and rolling. Let's keep going. See what the chat has to say. Remember, guys, if you say something that's worthy of my attention, not to frame it like that, everything is worthy. You guys are here, and I appreciate you. Aki will put that for me to, she'll pin it, and I'll be able to recognize it from the corner of my eye and address it. The other thing is, if you want to tell me something, you want to leave it up to me to decide whether it's worth me answering, then put at True Crime with Strategic so that you could get bright orange from my end. You guys may not see it from your end, but my end, it's a bright orange, and it'll catch my eye and my peripheral, because my attention, of course, is on this screen over here, which is where all the exhibits are being shown. Well, guess what? You guys are on this screen. So unless I turn my head in this direction, I can't see what you're saying. If you at least say at True Crime with Strategic or something to that effect, and it glows yellow or orange, I'll be able to check that out. All right, let's keep going. And don't forget, guys, today is also a call-in show. We will be doing a call-in show today when we're done with our exhibit. So I hope that you guys will call in and be a part of the show and tell me how you feel about what's been going on. We could talk about we could talk about whatever, but certainly today is a call-in show. Don't forget it. And we're going to try and keep the show under 2 hours, guy, under 2 hours, or at least 2 hours, all right? Or at most, rather, 2 hours. So I'm going to try and get through this, of course, giving it the attention that it deserves. And then we'll go over to the call-in show and we'll hear from you guys. All right, so now's the Lincoln, the MKZ, the infamous MKZ, which is a decent car that allegedly Maddie didn't want to ride in because it's an ugly car and it's not a nice car, even though these cars are well appointed. Even the older models are well appointed. These are luxury vehicles. They're American luxury vehicles. So he's driving a nice, moderately new, we're talking about in the last 10 years, and we know about cars, and unless there's rich people inside the comment section, for us regular folk, a car that's less than 10 years old is relatively new to us. So he's driving a relatively new car that belongs to his father, of course, and allegedly she don't want to ride in the car because it's an old car and it's not new. In a community that's not even that affluent, ladies and gentlemen. It's not even that affluent. For a little girl who sleeps in a living room. You didn't think Maddie didn't know that she was poor? You would think that she would not have that type of materialistic view. I don't think she was like that. I don't think that. And I'm going to tell you why I think that that's a lie, that she didn't want to ride in this car. I'll tell you why. We use facts to determine that it was a lie. Because upon interview, the grandmother, the roommate, Jen Soto, even Stephen Stearns, but we'll get back to him. Those three people that are listed before Stephen, they all said that he never took her to school. He never took her to school. And then Stephen says, well, I didn't take her to school often, once in a while. So he's lying to make it look like that one time that he allegedly said he took her to school wasn't an anomaly. So he lied because then it would stand out like, well, why now? That's what I would ask as an investigator. I'd be like, well, you never took her to school before. Why today? And I'd want to hear that story as to why today was different than any other day. But the person who took her to school was a mother, and the backup plan was grandma. That's it. And very rarely, when her father was in town, her father very rarely. So that's three people that took Maddie or picked Maddie up from school. The primary was Jen Soto. The secondary was Grandma, Yolanda. The third, when there's an extreme emergency, was Granddad. Stephen Stearns was not on that list. So who said that? Well, we expect Stephen Stearns to say that she didn't want to go into the car because it was an ugly car. We expect it. He's the one who killed her. He needs to create his alibi. He needs to create his story. He has to put out his narrative. But you know who else said that? The person who appears to be getting away with accessory to murder, accessory to child abuse. Jen Soto said that. Now, why would Jen Soto say that if she knew that Natty never had to say she didn't want to get in his car to go to school because he never was an option to take her to school? Why would Jen Soto say a lie like that? I don't know. In my opinion, it's a lie. But it seems like a lie to me. You guys are going to have to figure out for yourself. Let's keep going. All right. So it's the interior of the car there. We see the symbol, all that good stuff. All right. Perfect. Some documentation there. Let's keep going. So that looks like the interior is pulled up. That definitely looks like basically waterproofing. Excuse me, not waterproofing. Soundproofing. If you lift up parts of your car, it'll look just like that. It's soundproofing that's underneath the material. So not only is it, going to be the base of and cushioning, but it's also going to soundproof. So you have less road noise that's coming in through the car. So it looks like they pulled up that, the carpet that goes on top of the spare tire and kind of pulled it up and just left it there. Either they did that on their own, or that's how the condition that they found the car in. Big shout out to M Rez with a $4.99 super chat. Says, waited all day for this chat. Thanks again for your dedication at Strategic. Don't forget to tell me how to upgrade my membership because you're great. Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I think you just have to go in and like purchase the higher level or something like that, and then it will just automatically upgrade you. Don't quote me on it. I think that's what you're supposed to do. But appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. And pretty soon we're gonna be differentiating the tiers, so look out for that. If you want more content, you're gonna have to upgrade. It is what it is, the way it goes. I'm getting a lot of complaints from members about that. They're like, no, Strategic, you got to start because this is not fair, and I'm all about fair and equity, man. That's what I do. So let's keep going. All right, what we got here? All right, so this is a copy of the search warrant because they're gonna need the search warrant for the car. And it's just showing. Now they have their search warrant. They're going to jump in there and they're going to do what they do. So this is the condition of the car before they search it, by the way. You have to take the overall pictures to show the condition of it before you go in and you search. I don't know what that is on the bottom. Is that dog food or is that kind of like food? Got her driving shoes in there. Let's keep going. Wow. Little dirt down there. Kind of keep an eye on the chat. Adam Drives Helen says, as Strategic Eyes, he could have a Bitcoin mining setup. Yeah, but that's not a Bitcoin mining setup. You're usually going to have more than just one server, and it takes a lot of energy. That doesn't look like one. This is a good idea, though. You're onto something. It's good. This is what we do. We're thinking outside of the box. So I appreciate that, Adam. But what I saw there, I'm a tech guy. Like, I'm big on tech, big on computers and stuff like that. I used to build computers for fun. I could do it at any time if I wanted to. It's just no need anymore because we're all on tablets and stuff like that. But that's definitely not a Bitcoin setup. And this guy does not strike me as that sophisticated. And he doesn't have any money. Like, he'd have to steal a whole lot of money from his parents to afford those GPUs to mine those coins, because you can't just use any GPU. You'll be there forever just to get one coin. It won't even make sense economically. To get the real GPUs, you need some money. And this guy, I've been calling him a bum, and people have been getting mad at that. I don't know why, but he's a bum, and I'm not going to mince words because I'm hurting people's feelings. Stephen Stearns is a bum. Let's keep going. All right, so she got her little, got a little Nissan. I'm wondering how she was able to afford this, but she was working at Disney. I think she was working at Disney for a while. Don't forget to hit that like button, please, guys. Hit that like button. After this, we're going to go into some very interesting phone calls. Just want to run you guys through this. All right. And so the parents talked about this. This is one of the reasons, this GPS in the middle of her car is one of the reasons that the father believed that what Stephen Stearns was telling him as a story was bullcrap. He said, I thought it was bullcrap because he told me that he got lost behind Disney. And I was like, well, what car are you driving? He's like, he's driving his girlfriend's car, Jen Soto, and she has a GPS in the car. So he said, so he knew that Stephen was lying about where he was because he couldn't get, even if he didn't have a phone, which he did. I believe at that time he had the father's phone that the father had loaned him since the police had took his phone. Even if he didn't have that phone that was loaned to him, he would still be able to get where he needed to go because his girlfriend, Jen Soto, had GPS in her car. So this kind of backs that up. So these are areas that I believe they've identified as of interest could be a fingerprint, could be blood. It's hard to tell because it's black. It could be nothing. But it does look like I would assume that they use a presumptive test for blood before they would tag it as evidence, otherwise it would just be unnecessary evidence that's submitted. You know, what you don't want to do is just submit things just to submit it. You want to be targeted because it's a lot of information to go through. So you'll only take a picture of something unless you feel like it has evidentiary value. And so as crime scene technicians, what you want to do is, because you should have an assortment of tools and chemicals and crime scene stuff for you to use, supplies, etc. You would want to take a swab and you would want to test maybe the outer edge of it to see if it comes up as blood or something, or semen. They have a searchy presumptive test of semen. I used that a lot when I was in the jail, when there were allegations of sexual abuse and rape inside of the jail. I would use the presumptive test of semen on clothing, on sheets, etc. And then if it's semen, if it comes back as positive, then I would take a cutout for it and send it up to the lab. This brings me back in the days, man. Wow. It's been a little while since I was jailing. But yeah, so I guess they felt this had evidentiary value. Let me go over to the chat real quick and just show some love to somebody who's showing love to me. $10 super sticker from Pink Panda. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. She said, thank you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you. All right, let's keep going. That's so kind. I love when people just care enough about the show to be generous. It feels some type of way. I love when people just show up, man. Thank you for showing up, guys, for being here with me and enjoying the channel. We got some heavy hitters that are all streaming right now, and yet you guys have found the time to come to this show as well, and I appreciate that, and I don't take that for granted at all. Okay, your presence here, your very presence here, means a lot to me. Please make sure you hit that like button while you're at it, though. I do appreciate it. It's not for my ego. It's just so we can get into the algorithm. That's it. Just for us to get into the algorithm. Johnny Descent says, hiya at True Crime with Strategic Eyes. Caught you on Grizzly. Nice thinking, sir. Hey, man, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you immensely, but all the thanks goes to Grizzly, because there's 1,000 people inside of her chat, and yet she's taking the time to show that love and acknowledge me and acknowledge the growth of my channel. Today she said, you know, your channel's doing great, your channel's growing, and I do appreciate that from somebody who has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around the world watching her channel, including me. And taking the time to watch a channel. And somebody said something funny, not to go off track of my show, but somebody was like, you know, you did a great job on your collaboration with Paul, what's his name, Vinny with Vinny from Law and Crime or whatever. And I commented in the comment section. She didn't catch it though, but I commented, she also did a great job when I saw her do one of her first collaborations with Pascal's show. That shows you how long I've been a fan of hers. Because I remember when she went on the Pascal show, and I think they were talking about Maya Ponceto. I think that's who they were talking about. Mia Ponceto. No, what's her name? Yeah, I think that's who they were talking about. Something like that. But anyway, yeah, it's been a while. I've been watching her in the shadows because I don't really comment on other people's shows like that. Because most of the time when I'm listening, I'm doing other things, which a lot of people do for my channel. But I have been watching her for a very long time and showing a lot of love. And now that I'm taking true crime more seriously and dedicating a lot of time to it, it's nice to know that I'm being acknowledged by other true crime people. And that's cool, man. I really appreciate that. Let's keep going. All right, let's keep going. All right, so this is so it's just look at hotel stuff. So this is the stuff that was in the hotel, because they were in this hotel. That's the hotel that the father went to assist them in checking with him. And I said assist him for a reason. Give me a second. Like I told you, for some reason I feel real dehydrated. Maybe because I just went swimming. I said assisting because how it first came out was that it was as though the father left Northport because he had to get Stephen and Jen a hotel room because they had no money. But the truth of the matter is, Jen paid for the hotel room herself. So my question is, this is why I told people, be careful with the father. I told you guys that. Be careful with the father. because the father's a former police officer. And if you don't know it by now, they train us, they teach us to be able to manipulate people, to be able to use our speech to get answers from people. And this man was a cop, not for 2 months, not for a week. He was a cop for years. He left the force after years of service. He didn't retire as a police officer, but he was a cop for years. So if only a cop, I think, unless you're very savvy, could understand what was happening in that meeting. He was giving a lot so he could get something from those cops. He wasn't just spilling the beans just to spill the beans. He wasn't calling his son all kinds of names just to call his son. He was saying that to put those cops at ease. And he was asking questions just as much as he was giving answers. And he was also withholding things that he shouldn't have withheld. He wasn't completely honest, in my opinion. Big shout out to Mocha R, who said, came here from Grizzly, and it's awesome, so shout outs. Yeah, cool. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you, man. And a big shout out to Penny Green with a $15 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And then, I'm sorry, I actually missed one. Let me zoom up real quick, because Panda Place gave a 5-member gift membership to 5 lucky people, man. So thank you so much, Panda, for giving those gift memberships. You're awesome. All right. And Kelly Davis gave $10 as well. So thank you so much, Kelly. Wow, you guys are being so generous today. I really do appreciate it. And it goes a long way, and it's definitely appreciated. All right, so let's keep going. So that's something I need clarification on, guys. I need clarification on this. Why did you really come out to kiss me? I'm sorry, Kissimmee. I know I say it terribly, but remember, I'm a New Yorker. All right? Kissimmee. Why did Dad come out to Kissimmee? Because obviously Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto did not need him. They had enough money to get a hotel room. Dad paid for his own hotel room. In fact, the only thing he shelled out that was extra is he paid a little extra so that the dogs could come into his room. So what was the real purpose of Dad going out to Kissimmee with Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto? What was the real purpose? Let's keep going. But this proves that they were there because they stayed at Town Place. Now we have Town Place paraphernalia inside of the car. We also have, this looks like dog food that's in there as well. Wendy Williams says, as strategic true crime, he said so he wouldn't be home, so Stephen couldn't go steal that stuff. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We're going to have to look deeper into that. Very interesting. All right. But it didn't work, did it, guys? Because Stephen Stearns went back home anyway. And then he ended up going into the storage that he allegedly had no access to. So still didn't work. You went there to prevent him from going home, but he ended up going home anyway without you even knowing. Emrez says it's strategic. I think he wanted to help Steph cover up this and eject himself. If there was a way he could right his son's wrong, he's been saving his arse for so many years. Well, while I was reading it, looks like Emrez retracted the statement. But there was nothing wrong with what you said, though. I hear you. I hear you. Interesting. Let's keep going. So they redacted this for some reason, but this looks like a pill box. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like a pill box. And there's something over here that they're redacting, but let's keep going. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. Please hit that like button. The likes are anemic. My moderators are hitting me up. They're like, hey, make sure you're shouting these guys out to hit that like button. I've been seeing that in the last few shows. People watching. We got great engagement, but people are forgetting to hit that like button. Once again, we're not doing it for our ego. We're not asking you for our ego. We're asking because we just want to get a wider audience. We want YouTube to identify this show as people enjoying it, or at least engaging in it. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but you're here listening and you're engaging with me, and the likes help that happen. So please hit that like button and support the channel in that way. Let's keep going. Now, what is this indica? Anybody know what that is? Let me look that up real quick. Indica, is that like a marijuana? I think in my brain it's telling me it's like a marijuana type thing. Yep, Yep, that's marijuana. Okay. So I guess that's medicinal marijuana. It looks like way from its presentation. If the drug dealers are serving it up that way, then they've definitely come a long way since the crack epidemic. When I was growing up in the 90s and the 2000s in the hood and the crack epidemic, they put them in baggies. But I guess these drug dealers have become sophisticated. They put them in jars now with nice labels now. This is clearly from a dispensary. Looks like, and it is medical marijuana. So if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I think it's medical marijuana. Let's keep going. Big shout out to Sonny Lynn, who's now a recruit member. ES says true crime was strategic. In my opinion, he was selling the CSAM in the storage unit, set up for drug money for him and Jem. We saw a parent willing to do anything to their own children in the Murdaugh case. Yeah, it's possible. Everything is possible till we get to court and we start getting those facts laid out by the prosecutor. And I was right. So you could clearly see that that's a pill box. And basically gives you your schedule, etc., so that you take your pills on time. And there's going to be a daytime and a nighttime, etc. Clearly it was a pill box. Wasn't that clear, though, before, but now we see that that is the case. Let's keep going. Now, I don't know if that's damage on the car or if that's them dusting for prints, because the swirls look like a dust for prints, and it looks like it had magnetic print powder, dusting powder, and you know, it will stick to the door if the door is metal. And the way that these lines are like striding out there to the side, it's like kind of like it's a magnet. So it's possible that this is magnetic dust and they were dusting for prints. I could be wrong. It could be damage to the door, but it looked like just the color of the car where the dirt is centered around these door panels and the door knobs is pretty much they were dusting for prints. That's what it looks like to me. All right. That looks like a dust for print, but I could be wrong. Like all this looks like it's dusting for prints. Yep. Definitely look like it's dusted for prints. Okay. They see something there. This is a difficult job. And cases are made and broken based off of the competency and the meticulousness of a crime scene investigator. Like, this is important work, man. Important work. So we got to take our hats off and show love to the men and women who dedicate themselves to doing crime scene investigations. It's big. It's big. Now what's this? This device complies. It was like an easy pass or something, like a sun pass. Yes, it's easy pass there. Okay. They're definitely going to take that as evidence. That's why he had it in his hand, or he or she had it in their hand, because you can basically download the information from the Easy Pass, and you can also subpoena the Easy Pass records to kind of figure out where this person went. And this is the infamous book bag that has paint all over it. The contents of the book bag. It's so sad. Like when you see things like this, you remember that she was just a baby. She was just a kid. It kind of all comes back to you like, man, this is a kid that was tortured, man. Tortured by this man. Killed by this man. Let me see how we're doing on our time. We're already 43 minutes in. Composition notebook, sweater. It's overexposed picture. It's another, look like a lunch bag. Yeah, it looks like her lunch bag. There's a little kid stuff in there. That's the charger for her Chromebook. You know, every kid in school is getting these Chromebooks now. It's part of the curriculum all over the country. Looks like the paint got inside of it. Like he tried to use the paint to destroy some type of evidence. I'm wondering why he did that. There's something big that I really wanted you guys to see. Like the paint is over everything, really. And this is the big thing I wanted you to see. This is Maddie's inhaler. This proves that Maddie had asthma. Proves it. Proves she had asthma. And remember, mommy said nothing about her asthma. Stefan said nothing about her asthma. They said nothing about her asthma. She goes missing. You would think that it'd be important to let the public know that she suffers from a chronic illness, and without her medicine, her life would be in danger. Believe it or not, that sometimes saves people's lives. Somebody might kidnap you for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be for the most nefarious reason. It could be for ransom, for money, for whatever, for beef, retaliation. People do things for all types of reasons. But sometimes when they find out that one felony could turn into a murder, if they're negligent because a person has, physical illnesses, they'll let that person go. How many times have we seen people carjack families and then they realize that an infant is in the back seat and they either A, ditch the car for somebody to find it with the infant, or they put the infant outside of the car in a public space where somebody can tend to the infant because they don't want to be hit with a kidnapping charge, because their intent was to steal a car, not to put the life of an infant in danger. Same thing goes for this. You would want her kidnapper to know that she has a chronic medical condition, and if you don't return her soon and something happens to her, not only are you looking at a kidnapping charge, you're also looking at a murder charge. That's important information. That's also important information for the police to know. Forget about making that a public announcement for everybody to know. I get that. Okay, maybe you don't want to say that. That's something important for the police to know. At what point did she tell the police that her daughter had asthma? That her asthma was so bad that she had to carry an inhaler around. It's big, man. It's big. Let's keep going. And that's it. Let me bring back to me, and then we're going to go into the phone calls. We're going to start with phone call from Jennifer Soto.
Are you guys talking to Stefan out here?
All right, this is 8 minutes long, and this is the one where they're going to be showing her photos. I haven't heard this one yet, so I wanted to play it with you guys and react to it fresh.
Yeah, they're right out there. They just wanted to ask him a couple things, but I figured I'd just ask you this at the same time for the sake of time. Do you recognize this vehicle at all? I wanted to see if I could... So I know it's pretty grainy. It's this one right here. That one's tough, but... Does that look familiar at all?
No.
You don't know that anywhere?
I don't know that part.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is it's hard to show you on my phone because the quality of the video just kind of gets worse when I've downloaded it from the church's computer, and the quality just gets kind of worse. Can you make out, like, the shape of that being black shorts and that being possibly a green jacket?
I see the green.
Would that, I mean, I know it's very difficult to recognize, but would that be something, some clothes that she owns, or
Yes.
would the quality be too bad?
All right, I want to address something that I saw in the chat, which is very good. I think Irene said it. Irene Cintron. So I guess she's responding to somebody else's comment in the comment section. I want to address something real quick. Irene says, everyone can sign a petition to get arrested, but they need physical and hard evidence to charge her, not just her actions, words, or demeanor. I believe they are digging into getting evidence still. I'm going to agree to disagree with you. You don't always have physical evidence in a case, especially when you're dealing with ex-abuse cases with family members. You don't always have physical evidence because evidence gets destroyed, the evidence is commingling. If you find semen inside of a shower, and the person say, well, he raped me in a shower. Let's say the little girl said that her dad raped her in a shower. And then you find semen in the shower. That evidence is not worth much because he could just say, every time I take a shower, I masturbate. And that's why there's semen in the shower. So in those cases, you're going to go off of the credibility of the victim. You may have no physical evidence to prove your case, but convincing a jury based off of the testimony of the victim that they were in fact the victim. You don't always have physical evidence. Now, let me tell you why I think at this point the police have a case against Jen Soto. Maybe they're doing exactly what Irene said, because what Irene said is not wrong in its entirety. It's just not always true, right? In a perfect world, it's right, because that's what you want when you bring up a case. You want physical evidence, etc. But it's not always the case. We do bring cases without physical evidence at times. But Irene's last statement might be 100% correct, where she says, I believe that they are digging into getting evidence still, which means she might still get charged. But let me explain to you why I think that Jen Soto could still be charged, right? Or should be charged, right? We have her giving statements to the police saying that she knowingly allowed her daughter to sleep with Stephen Stearns, who is not her father, who is not her stepdad. Now, I haven't found this for myself, but I'm going to use an example, but I will 100% correct myself if I'm wrong. I didn't see this episode because I can't watch everything. And I don't want to misquote another creator. But what I've been told from numerous people is that Grizzly True Crime went over some documents. And I wanted somebody please send me the link to her particular show where she did this and a timestamp, because some of those shows are long, just like my shows are long. Where she went through some documents, and in one of the documents, there's a witness saying that Maddie told her mother what Stephen Stearns was doing to her, and her mother did not believe her. Now, I'm told that came from Grizzly's channel. If I'm wrong, please excuse me. I apologize, and I will retract it as soon as I can, right? But so now we have that. Let's say that that's real, and we have that, right? Then we have her telling the cops that it's not evil that she was being sexually abused, but it was evil that she got killed. Then we have her giving false statements. Understand, there's no mistakes when you talk to us. If you give a sworn statement to us saying that this is the facts by which you know them, and it turns out that those facts are wrong, you just committed a crime. So we have sworn statements from her to law enforcement where she's saying, oh, my daughter left the house with white Crocs on and this kind of outfit. What else? Then when we find out that her daughter did not leave with those things on. One Croc was in the garbage. The other Croc was in her bedroom. And she never drove the little girl to school. And she never saw the little girl that morning. We know that those are all lies, ladies and gentlemen. That is your evidence there. Her own words is her evidence. Now, listen, do I think you can charge her with accessory murder with that? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. Do I think you could charge her with accessory to sex abuse? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. But could you charge her with being a negligent parent? Yes. Offers her own words, ladies and gentlemen. Her own words is enough. Her own words is enough. What physical evidence would you have for her allowing Stephen Stearns to take her daughter to a bedroom every night? The evidence shows, guys, and first of all, before I go any further, I do have to stop when somebody gives such a big donation. Wow, David with $100 super chat. Great show as always. Got to run off to grill and play cornhole. Man, listen, I hope you win, bro. I hope you win, and I hope you make some great burgers, bro. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Very, very, very kind of you. Once again, like I say all the time, whenever David comes on the show, whether he donates or not, it doesn't matter to me. I always say the same thing. David has been with me for a very long time. He's a very loyal follower of the shows. He's been with me through many different iterations of my show, and he's still here, and I do appreciate him, and he's always reliable to come and watch my shows. Even though he's a very busy man, a very active man, and a very professional man, he still makes time to watch my show, and I appreciate him immensely. Thank you, David, and you enjoy the rest of your day, bro. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's well deserved. But like I said, guys, at the very least, we got a child endangerment charge, because we have evidence, guys, that for most of this girl's life, when Stephen Stearns stayed at that house full time, I didn't say this, the police said it, that at least 4 days out of the week, he would abuse that girl and he would record it. That's just what he recorded, guys. That's just what he recorded. He's not going to pick his phone up every single time he does something to this girl. Every single time he does something, he's not going to. Let me catch that. So it could be more, but it's documented that for years, 4 days out of the week, timestamps on each one of those photos and videos that man took when he was abusing that child. 4 days out of the week, consistently for years, he abused Madeline Soto. How is that possible that could happen? How is it possible it can happen if you're not a negligent, reckless mother? Is it not enough when her statements allegedly is, well, I lost my libido due to my psychiatric drugs, so Stephen Stearns, you know, he was sexually frustrated when talking about him abusing her daughter. Now, that statement came from the Stearns. You take it for whatever you want. I think somebody said an incredible statement in my comment section in one of my shows or live, or I forgot which one it was. They said they need to break out the lie detector test for these people. But I'm telling you guys, there's enough evidence to charge her with a misdemeanor or low-level felony in regards to the child endangerment, in regards to the child abuse of Maddie. I don't know. I don't have any evidence right now that she participated in the sex abuse of her daughter, although they were sleeping in the same bed a lot. And she said she's bisexual, or not. She didn't say she's bisexual, but others have said she's bisexual. It doesn't mean that bisexual people abuse children. I'm not saying that. Not saying that at all. But Maddie is a girl. So if the mother was going to abuse her, the mother would have to be attracted to girls. I think. People do horrible things. I don't know. I can't even get into the mind of people like that. So, at the very least, she could be charged with that child endangerment. They're choosing not to do it. That's on them. Once again, there's a lot that we don't know. I don't want to slam them too much without knowing exactly what their investigative strategy is. But I'll say one more thing before we go back to recording. People are saying, well, they want to probably wait till after the first trial to charge her. There's no way in hell that her attorney, who she now has, is going to allow her to be a cooperating witness for the prosecution if they're not offering her immunity. That's not happening. It's not how court works, people. Oh, yeah, we're going to wait till you come testify for us, and then we're going to charge you after we testify. Doesn't work that way. Understand that if Jen Soto testifies against Stephen Stearns, she will be testifying under immunity. She will not be giving her testimony just to willy-nilly give her testimony and still, what if she incriminates herself on the stand? What if the defense attorney starts asking questions? Because remember, that defense attorney is going to talk to Stephen Stearns. He's going to know things that the prosecutor is not going to know. He's going to have information that the prosecutor is not going to have about Jen Soto. What if she gets on that stand during cross-examination and that prosecutor starts opening up doors and she starts incriminating herself? What then? So no attorney would allow Jen Soto to get on the stand as a cooperating prosecutorial witness without immunity. So take that thought out your brain, ladies and gentlemen, because it's not accurate. It goes against what we see common practice in court. She's only going to testify with immunity. Let's keep going.
Bad for you to be able to tell based on that.
I mean, the quality's terrible.
Yeah.
The color scheme.
Would that be akin to something that she owns?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And the hair looks a little dark in the from here.
Dirty blonde. It could pass for dirty blonde.
That could possibly
be
her. Okay. Is that? I can't tell just from looking at it, but is that is that Stephen's car? It looks a little darker from there, but I almost can't tell like if it's a Toyota or a looks a little different.
From the front, looks different. That looks like a Toyota from the front.
From the front, it looks different, right?
And then from the side, it could be.
It's got a little.
Cadillac.
I mean, yeah, the grill is kind of the same. A little bit. The headlights look a bit the same. Okay, cool. And I just wanted to see if you kind of were able to help me with that. So this whole living in the woods thing, I have people like tromping through the woods right now on horses and ATVs and all sort of things, but has she ever mentioned that before?
Just in that text that I saw.
Just that's the only time you've ever heard of it? Is she outdoorsy at all? Does she like camping?
All right, real quick, in the chat they're saying they did it in the Montgomery case. I don't know. Well, I heard about that case, but I didn't follow it too much. There's some key things that I said just to keep in mind, and it might be the case in the Montgomery case too. I don't know. You guys will tell me. But I said she has an attorney, and no good attorney. I think this is what I said. No good attorney is going to allow her to testify without immunity. I don't know if this Montgomery person had an attorney and if that attorney was doing their job. You're not supposed to put somebody on the stand if they're going to incriminate themselves. You want to give them immunity. So she has an attorney. Her attorney is obviously good because her attorney has told her to make no statements whatsoever. She's made no statements, and I tell you why. It's because she has an attorney. The attorney's like, say nothing. Say zero, zip zero. Let me speak for you when it's time to speak. So if you're going to match those two cases, you might well be right. I'm not saying you're not, but if you guys are going to match those two cases together, make sure that they have exactly the same circumstance, that both of these two people who are testifying, Jen Soto may testify, and this Montgomery person who testified, did they both have attorneys? Did they both have attorneys when they went on that stand? Because if you have an attorney, I've never been in a situation where I've had a witness that could incriminate themselves with an attorney, and that attorney is not making a deal for immunity before that testimony is given. I've never seen it. If it happened in a Montgomery case, I don't know. That's messed up for that person because they needed a good attorney and they didn't have one. But any attorney worth their salt, and we got any attorneys in the room, let me know. You'd ask for immunity. Let's keep going.
Okay.
We used to go hiking.
Okay.
But we haven't done that in a while.
Okay. Where did you go? Was it around here?
Where would we go? We go hiking in like St. Cloud. Lake Lizzie Preserve is what it's called.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not too far.
It's about 35 minutes away.
Yeah. Okay.
On 182. Lake Lizzie Preserve. We've also walked Shingle Creek before, but we haven't done that in a very long.
All right. Big shout out to New York City Baby Boomer. 499 Super Chat says, can the defense bring Jen in as a hostile witness? I don't think they need to bring her as a hostile witness. I mean, we already saw from the interviews that even knowing that her child was murdered, she still defended she still defended Stefan. She still defended him. Even the detective called her out. Like, why are you defending Stefan for? So I feel like she would probably be a cooperating witness for the defense. So I mean, the defense could call whoever they want as a witness. Literally, you can call whoever you want. But I doubt she'll be as hostile as one would think she should be, considering that her child was killed by this madman.
Wow.
Got it.
But no, I know the thing is, I started talking to her about World War III. I was talking about, I'm like, hey, this is going on in Palestine and Israel right now.
Oh, so you're talking to her about the wars.
I was telling her, I was talking to her about just what's happening politically, and I'm like, I don't know what that means for us, but we'll see what happens. But I've talked to her about World War III, so that's what I'm just saying.
How long ago was that? I mean, is that something that might have impacted her?
Yeah, I feel like that's why when I read that conversation, I'm like, oh, that's directly related to me talking to her about what's happening in Israel, Palestine, and the potential World War III that might happen from that.
Okay.
And that's why she said she wanted to go live in the woods.
Okay. Got it. All right. No, just wanted to figure out where that might have come from. Maybe help me see if she just wanted to be in the outdoors.
Definitely. The World War III conversation, that's definitely me.
Okay.
That was me.
It's fine. I mean, that's fine.
Now, Shiny Star says, I hate the way he's asking Jen questions. So casual, like they're best buddies. He's actually doing an excellent job. When you interrogate somebody, you don't want to come at them hostile unless you need to. There are moments when you do have to. But he's making her feel at ease. He's asking her questions. She's giving the answers. So he's doing a great job. When I reviewed the questioning done by the female detective with the psychologist, it wasn't her demeanor of being friendly that I found fault in. It was the nature of her questions. She wasn't asking open-ended questions. She was giving answers, to the question she was asking, and then doing what we call in the profession an out. She was giving the psychologist an out, you know, that allowed them to go and bloviate on the answer that the detective basically gave them. So keep that in mind. But he's doing a really good, I mean, good observation. I like the fact that you're in tune and you're listening to it, but he's actually doing an excellent job. And I actually got a lot of blowback for that. A lot of people are upset that I felt that the psychologist could have did a better job kind of trying to figure out what's going on with Maddie. These YouTube streets are very interesting, and I definitely hear people out, and I hear your perspectives, and I appreciate the engagement for the show. As long as everything's done respectfully, I'm always down to hear your criticism. Let's keep going.
So one thing that I think I may have misheard you say earlier, but I want to make sure that I have it absolutely clear, is on Sunday night, y'all went to bed around 11, and the reason that you sent her upstairs with Stefan was because you had work in the morning, was it? Or you just started a new job?
I just started a new job, and I haven't been sleeping well.
Oh.
I take psychiatric meds every night for my bipolar disorder, and if I don't take them the right way, eat, and go to sleep on time,
They don't work.
They don't work.
Gotcha.
So I was just like, hey, I really need these meds, because I forgot them the night before. I forgot them, I think, Saturday night. So Sunday I was not myself. So I asked, I'm like, hey, I need to be medicated. I need to sleep. Can you take care of the morning duties so I can go and sleep?
Gotcha. All right. No, I just wanted to make sure I understood you right, because I was like, did you have work in the morning? Or I didn't write that down, and I wanted to make sure I heard you okay. Are there any cameras in the neighborhood that you know? Does anyone have any ring cameras? Do you have any security cameras out front?
All right, so we spoke about this before. We got more context in a previous video. Before I continue, big shout out to everybody who's in the room. We have over 700 people here watching us for a small channel like this. That's amazing, guys. Can't wait one day till we're big and we got 8,000 people in the room and all that good stuff and like 20 moderators. We can't wait. We're going to get there eventually because you guys are amazing. You guys appreciate what we're doing, and we appreciate you guys for supporting us. But please hit that like button, support the channel. That's the only way we're going to get to that goal one day, is by you guys hitting that like button so that that algorithm can see that people are engaged and locked in the show, and then put us out to a wider audience. So if you don't mind and you could just do that for us, we would appreciate it. We got a $10 super chat from H. Sin, says, not only she didn't go to her daughter's B-Day party. All right, I'm choking. Do the right thing and drink. Don't talk through it. Not only she didn't go to her daughter's B-Day party, she didn't even spend much time with her daughter that night after she missed it because she was too tired. Most of us have jobs and still care for our kids. That's a really good observation. I didn't even notice before, H-Sin. That's a really good observation, and I really appreciate you for making that observation. You weren't there. She wasn't even home. She was at the grandmother's house. Her birthday party was there. You didn't even make it. She gets home before you. She's greeted by her abuser, who comes not too long after she gets there. And then you get home and you don't even have time for her. You're like, all right, I need to take my meds and go to bed. Peace out, you guys. Go upstairs and do what you usually do. Just try and keep it low. You know, we don't want the roommates to know what you guys are doing in there. Just keep it low. All right. And that's it. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's really terrible, the hand that this little girl was dealt with. But wow, I mean, it is what it is. Let's keep going.
I'm gonna say there are cameras in the front. There are cameras in the back gate as well.
Okay.
I know one neighbor around here has a Ring camera, but I didn't want anything like that.
Okay.
Hey Jay, how are you?
Oh yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. I lost my train of thought for a second. That's what I wanted to say. All of that to go to sleep. And I guess she's blaming it on the mental health, and I get it. I don't know what her meds regimen is. I have no idea. I don't know how these psychiatric drugs work. But it came out initially like she actually had work the next day, which we all understood. We're like, okay, we get it. Maybe she has to get up early in the morning or something. We get it, right? But it turned out that she didn't have work the next day. It turned out that was a farce. That she just wanted to sleep, that the next day all she had to do was go to a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock in the morning. That means you don't even set your alarm. For most adults who are accustomed to waking up and going to work and accustomed to waking up and taking care of children, when I have an appointment for 10 o'clock, I have appointments, okay? I go to the doctor, all right? I don't set an alarm. because I don't need to be woken up to get there for 10 o'clock. My body naturally is going to wake me up at 7:30, 8 o'clock if I don't have work. If I have work and I'm working the morning shifts, I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning. If I don't have work and I can sleep in, I'm not sleeping in longer than 7:30, 8 o'clock because my body is trained that I got to be a morning person because I'm a professional, because I work. She didn't even have work the next day, yet she's going to bed at 10 o'clock. And she doesn't even have the time to spend time with Maddie and let Maddie know, happy belated birthday. I love you. You're everything to me. Come sleep with mommy. Let's be in each other's presence. Let's feel each other's spiritual energy. Let's lay down next to each other. Let's share that mother-daughter bond. Come on, have a sleepover with mommy. They did a lot of sleepovers, right? Sleepover was a part of their life, apparently. Come have a sleepover with mommy where you could be safe. You send your abuser upstairs. Apparently, she didn't know he's an abuser. So send the abuser upstairs and you stay with mommy. No, you go upstairs. You leave me alone. And why? Why her go upstairs and him go upstairs? Why couldn't Maddie sleep in her makeshift bedroom and he sleep upstairs in the spare room? Or he sleep in Maddie's makeshift bedroom and she sleeps upstairs in the spare bedroom? Why did they have to go together? Why did mommy have to order them both to go up together? These are the holes that these detectives need to be filling. They need to fill these holes because this is what Jen Soto needs to be charged with. This is what she needs to be charged with. Why are you specifically sending this child to go sleep with this man? And you admit it. There's no secret. There's no shame in her game. She's admitted this to them and the whole world. Let's keep going, man.
Don't mind, just try to keep people out of because I have a canine that's coming. If you don't mind, they're going to try to run another track from the church and from here.
Okay.
To see if we can maybe just try it again. You know, last night it didn't work out because the dog lost interest and they weren't able to continue. But I figured, you know, it's worth another try. The dogs are pretty good, so just try to keep them out of her room. We're probably going to use like a. Does she have dirty laundry or like a hamper?
Her most recent dirty laundry is on my bathroom floor, and we've walked around it. We haven't touched it.
Okay, just keep people off of it.
Yeah.
Just let and just and as much as you can, try to avoid crowding the front door for the dog.
Yeah.
So that they know where to go from. Okay.
Just let me know when they're coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. They're gonna call me when they're on the way. But just as much as you can, try to keep the scent pretty fresh. There you go. Cool. All right. And another thing I just wanted to confirm because I know the last night was a long night.
I just want to throw this in there. You know, the reason why I keep stopping this recording, if you guys haven't noticed, there's not a lot going on here. We're listening to it. It's not really giving us a lot of interesting stuff to jump on. But you guys are going crazy in the chat, and I love it. And my mind is just exploding with, you know, just trying to understand this situation, right? So you guys made a good point. She had a lot of support there. She had her entire nuclear and extended family in that community. She had people that she uses on the regular to assist her with Madeline Soto, aunties and grandma. Why would you call your supposed ex-boyfriend, which at this point, guys, I do not believe is an ex-boyfriend, and we've gone through that already. Why would you call your supposed ex-boyfriend and ask him to drive 3 hours? 3 hours just so that he could come to your house, put a 13-year-old girl to bed, make sure she shower, brush her teeth, floss, clean the lint from her belly button and from between her toes. I'm being facetious, of course. Tuck her in bed, read her a bedtime story. And I'm saying this stuff on purpose because they're acting like Madeline was a toddler. She's not a toddler. She's a big girl. She's a teenager. She didn't need to be policed like that on getting herself to bed. Why would you call your ex-boyfriend to drive 3 hours from his parents' house to do that for you when you could have easily called grandma up and say, yo, grandma, can you do me a favor? Can you come and pick her up in the morning and take her to school? Then riddle me this. You have an appointment at 10 o'clock. She got an appointment at 10 o'clock, guys. Madeline doesn't have to be to school till 9:20. Would it have hurt her to get up 15 to 20 minutes earlier so that she could take Madeline to school and then make her appointment on time. It's not even like she had like a 6 a.m. appointment that she needed to be out the house before Madeline needed to be for school. Everything she needed to do was right after Madeline needed to be dropped off at school. So my question is, did she really need Stephen Stearns to come to her house that night? And if she didn't really need Stephen Stearns to be there, what other purpose did you invite Stephen Stearns to come to the house? What other purpose? And lastly, it goes back to my theory that they never broke up, because which one is it? The father's saying the only reason why he moved out is because he got tired of paying Stephen Stearns' rent. She never really gave a clear idea as to why she broke up, but then other people saying she broke up with him because she felt like he wasn't a good partner. I mean, that's believable. But that never came out her mouth. And so you guys broke up in December, but yet apparently he lives 6 hours round trip away. That's far. But he's made that trip at least 3 to 4 times. The exact same number that Jen gave is the exact same number that Chris Stearns gave. I think they said 2 to 3 times he made that trip from December to February. So that means once a month he was making a trip up to your house and spending a couple of days there. Could it be that you never really broke up? And 2, we also have to understand that he didn't have any money. And every time he came and made those trips, his father would finance those trips. So maybe the only reason why he didn't go up more often is because he didn't have the money to pay for the gas to get up there. When you're broke, you're broke. And for us, oh, I'm broke, but you still have money to go put gas in your tank and go get some McDonald's, maybe from the dollar menu because you broke, but you still got money to get around. But if you're really, really broke, then you can't afford to put $60 in a gas tank to make a trip. I don't believe that they were really broken up. I think they were too codependent on each other. And I don't think that she needed him to come over. So the question is, why did she come over? Why did she make him come over? For what purpose? And then let's look at the interaction when he comes over. He comes in maybe an hour or half an hour to an hour before she arrives. Immediately she says, okay, I need to go to sleep. You guys go up to bed. She immediately sends them to the bedroom. You know, the room that had the chain lock on it. With the lube, the tripod, the gun. Immediately, all right, I'm home. Nice to see you, Stephen. Nice to see you, Maddie. You guys go up to the sex den. If it's not making sense for you, I don't know what to say. It seems like he came there to abuse Maddie, and it seems like Mommy knew, but that's just my opinion. Let's keep going.
But you said you said when you woke up around 9, you left your house at 9:30 for your doctor's appointment. Mm-hmm. And Stefan hadn't come home yet. Mm-mm. And then he called you at 10. You were already
like 10:15, yeah.
10:15-ish to have the conversation. McDonald's and
yeah, she didn't want McDonald's, so he came home. I think he had accidentally left his phone.
All right, they're going through the timeline again. We've been through that. We will listen to it, but I got to go and acknowledge when somebody sends me a super chat, I got to read it out, guys. So I'm sorry for stopping it. Big shout out to Madeline Beavers. Thank you so much for your super chat, $10 super chat. She's also a Strategiceyes member. Consider becoming a member. The lowest tier is 99 cents. 99 cents to become a member of Strategiceyes show. Everybody else is $2.99, $3.99 and up. We're starting at 99 cents. I don't think you could, we actually tried to do a 50-cent membership just to get people acclimated to the show and show you guys love. YouTube would not allow us to do a 50-cent or 75-cent membership. The lowest that you could do is 99 cents. So consider becoming a member just like Mallory Beavers is. All right. Mallory says, please, us parents, with an emphasis on the police, us parents, been sleep deprived from the minute we gave birth. I'm a single mom, work full-time, and sleep like 4 hours. This is what being a mom is. Moms and dads in here get it. Jen is no mom. So what she's saying is no excuse for you needing your sleep. Now, I got to say, Mallory, there's a lot of bleeding heart people here in this world. I'm not necessarily talking about the chat, but they do come find me. There's a lot of sympathy for Jen because of her supposed psychiatric issues. There's a lot. So be careful you don't get attacked, Mallory, for saying that. Listen, Jen had a lot of mental health issues. We know this. We know this. And mental health is real. I do sympathize with Jen. I'm going to stop being a DIC. I do sympathize with Jen and her mental health issues. I also do believe that she does have mental health issues. I do not think that this was invented because of this tragedy with Madeline Soto. Please hit that like button, guys. We're like 9 likes away from 500 likes. So please help us out. Help us get there. But when you're a parent, like Mallory says, you put your child first. And I understand that, you know, because of her mental health situation, she's not any help to her child if she's not in the best form of her mind could possibly be in. I get that. Self-care is important. But you should never put forth anything before your children. And it was not too much to ask for her to spend a little time with Maddie and show Maddie the attention that she needed. It was not too much to ask for. I think there's a clear balance, and I think whether you sympathize with Jen Soto's mental illness or not, I think we can all agree that she was not meeting that bare minimum of finding a balance between her self-care and her responsibility and her duty to her daughter. And I think that's clear and evident in her words, in her statements, in this police investigation, that Maddie did not come first. It was Jen Soto who came first. It was Stephen Stearns as a close second, and Maddie was 18 rungs below the two of them in third place. And that's just what I get from this investigation. RS says, a strategic. My issue is she didn't even go in her room after she was reported missing. How did she not find the scene suspicious with all the filth and the SS drawers hanging on the hamper? Listen, it's clear and evident why, because most likely, in my opinion at least, she knew what was going on in that room. She knew what was happening. That's why she was not shocked when she found out that Stephen Stearns was molesting her daughter. Lil Red says, feel like with all the Google searches, etc., this was premeditated. It certainly was premeditated. Let's keep going. See somebody send me a super chat down there. Mrez with another $20 super chat. Oh my God, you are so generous, Mrez. Thank you so much, man. We're about to buy some merch, and we're gonna be giving a giveaway to all the members because the members are so generous and so awesome. So we will be doing a giveaway soon. It's going to be random, though. I can't choose. I can't pick favorites, so we'll see who gets it. But we will be doing a giveaway, and I do appreciate you guys. So what does Emirates have to say with her very generous super chat? She says, as a prescriber of psych meds. Okay, so Emirates is a doctor. She's either a psychiatrist who's an MD, or she is a nurse practitioner, psych nurse practitioner. Or maybe in her state, they allow nurses to do it. She could be a nurse too. I don't know. Maybe she'll correct us. But she's a very learned and professional individual. So I want to qualify Mrez before I read any further. So we're hearing for a pro right now. What does the pro have to say? I tell patients to consider med side effects, including over sedation. With kids, you should not be sedated in case of emergencies at home and risk of impaired decision-making. Mental health is not an excuse. Now, you heard it from a pro, and I agree 1,000%. It's not an excuse, especially when it comes to the children. It's not an excuse, especially when it comes to the children. They're your children. They're your responsibility. They come first. They come first. So if you got to change your job schedule where you get home early enough where you can spend time with your child and then get to bed early because of your psych meds, and that child feels like they got a sufficient amount of time with their parent, that's what you have to do. If you got to change your meds and start experimenting with your doctor to find the best regimen for you that's not going to conk you out at 10 o'clock where you don't know what's happening with your daughter, where your roommates are trying to wake you up in the night because somebody's breaking into your car and you can't get up. And what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? That means that Stephen Stearns is in that house destroying her child, and her child may be screaming for help, help, help. And what is Jen Soto going to do? She's going to sleep through the whole thing. Whatever it may be, you have a duty to protect that child. And that may mean that I'm not going to allow a man to stay overnight with me because I'm defenseless and I don't know what that man might be doing with my child. Or you form a bond with your child that your child actually trusts you, that if something ever happens to them, that it's if a disgusting statement is made to them, comment, inappropriate touch is done, that before it escalates into full-blown RAPE, your child will be able to come to you and say, hey, listen, somebody did something inappropriate to me, and this is what it is, and you can nip that in the butt and save that child a lifetime of trauma and probably deletion, which is what this beautiful little girl had to face. So thank you so much, Mrez, for that insightful comment. I love hearing from pros. I love hearing from people who are in the know. Thank you so much. Let's scroll down now. Kind of get to, because we got one more thing I got to acknowledge. We got a $10 super chat from Realistic. Thank you so much, Realistic, for showing that love. And we do have a 5 gift membership from Little Red. Thank you so much, Little Red, for the gift membership. All right. 5 lucky people. Make sure you thank Little Reds inside of that comment section. Make sure you thank her and show love for her being generous with you and supplying you with a gift membership. Let's keep going.
At home.
Yeah.
So he was just letting me know because I had called him multiple times. So he was just returning my call going, I'm so sorry. I left the phone at home. I went to the vape store. I waited there for a little bit. Nothing. Nobody was there. He came back home for a little bit and then went back out to the vape store.
And then what time did you get home again? Was it around 11?
Let me see. I'm going to say around 11:15.
Because I think if I heard you right the first time, you got home at 11 and you and Stefan were both here, and then he left to go to the vape store again.
I did see him, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I had that. Because, like I said, sometimes you forget to write things down, and I don't want to misremember. But okay, that's all I have.
All right, so we can stop that there. What we're going to do is I'm going to do a standalone show, a short show, because it's really not a lot. And I rather would pinpoint exactly what I want you guys to hear with the Stephen Stearns audio. That audio you've already heard, but I want to point out something to you guys that was very telling for me. I want to get to the call-in show, guys. So we're going to post out that call-in phone number because we're getting to that 2-hour mark. And like I told you guys, I can't stay much past 2 hours. If we go 2 hours and 15 minutes, maybe, but we can't do 2 hours and 30 minutes, and we certainly can't do 3 hours. So big shout out to RX, who is a Strategiceyes recruit. Thank you so much for joining the channel. And big shout out to Kelly Davis. She's been so generous to us. I mean, Jesus Christ. Hate to say the Lord's name in vain, but man, that hits me in the heart, man. So Kelly Davis with a $20 super sticker, and it's a dancing emoji saying woot. For those of you who are listening on the podcast, we do have a Strategiceyes podcast you can listen to on YouTube if you prefer to listen to a podcast. So let me go ahead real quick and start setting up that call. Aki, if you still have that number on hand, please go ahead and post that bad boy for me. And let me go to settings here so I could get this phone number. Perfect. I definitely want to hear from you guys because I want to hear from you guys always. Otherwise, I wouldn't do a call-in show. But this show, more than most, I want to hear from you. And the reason why I want to hear from you guys this show more than most is because this show happened after the dump. That massive dump that has just literally set the internet on fire, that we're getting all this good information from for us to deep dive into this and kind of figure this out. So I want to hear your reaction. I want to hear what you guys I want to hear your theories about what's going on, what you think happened and what you think is going to happen. And if any questions you may have for me, I'm here to answer those questions as well. But boom, set that up real quick and set this up. So please do show that love. Call in Don't be shy. Takes a little while for people to kind of get, okay. All right, welcome to the Strategic Eyes Show. You're the first caller. Thank you for taking a leap and being brave and calling in.
Hi, Strategic. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What's your name?
My name is Sally Curran.
Sally Curran. Thank you so much for calling in, Sally Curran. Where are you calling from?
New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
All right, man. Is it a beautiful area? Everywhere with a beach sounds
Yes,
like a beautiful area. Is it like a tourist area?
Yes, it's the shark bite capital of the world.
Wow. Okay. I'll go visit, but I won't take a swim.
Okay.
So what's going on? What do you got for me?
I don't live too far from Orlando. I want to go to the trial if it happens. This is what I think.
Okay.
I don't think Jen knew. I don't think she knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was so wrapped up in her own mental health, which I think she has severe mental health issues, that she wasn't paying attention to her daughter and wasn't paying attention what Stefan was doing to her daughter. That's what and I also think, and I don't know, I've been thinking about this. Some people say that they think maybe she was killed at night. I think in the morning, because she had her school clothes on, right? Because she came home from the party and she had that dress on.
I mean, he could have dressed her, but yeah, you're making some good points.
You know?
This is the thing. What you're saying is totally plausible. Absolutely. It might very well be what happened. My issue is the scale of the abuse. Like,
oh yeah, he's a horrible man.
But the scale, the time frame of the abuse. So yes, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been talking to people. I've been trying to decipher truth from lies my entire adult life. I've been an investigator longer than I've been anything in my life that of consequence. And when I listen to Jen Soto, I see the exact same person that you're describing. She's wrapped up into her mental health. She's all about herself. She's, you know, you're 100% spot on. You must be a pro your damn self. But the timeline, we're talking about being a willful, ignorant idiot. Since the child was, and I'm going to go with what I believe, 6 years old. 6 years old to 13 years old. That's a long time to never walk in on somebody doing something inappropriate. That's a long time.
But let me ask you this. Do you think that he drugged her most of the time?
I don't know how many times, but I think it was done. I think I had a theory on my members only section that I'm not going to share on the main channel until I get more evidence of it. So I'm not going to tell you what that theory is. But I will say that we know that he was most turned on when he was having intercourse with a person that appeared to either be unconscious or deceased. So I think that it did happen a lot, but there are tons of videos that the police have where she's alive and awake. And
here's a question I have for you.
All right. Last one, because we got to go to all the callers.
Okay. So with all those pictures that they found, how do they determine how many charges go against him? Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Usually each instance is a count. Usually each one is a count.
Picture or each?
Well, each date. And so if you get a picture and a video, and the picture is like a screenshot of video, that would be one count. But when it comes to CSAM, it might be different. It might be each piece of material is a count. That's usually determined by the states, like by their local case law. So it's hard for me to tell you. But usually it's each independent situation is a count. You understand?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And thank you for everything you do.
I appreciate you.
Show.
Thanks for supporting.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
All right. See, a few people tried to call in, but I was on a call, so try and call in again because the lines are free. All right, let's go. What's going on, caller? What's going on, caller? How you doing? You're live with the Strategic Eyes Show. What's going on?
Hi, Strategic.
Hello.
This is Kelly here.
Hey, Kelly.
I can't believe I got through. I just wanted to say that what you shared earlier about Jen Soto and lawyering up and stuff, and explained it. It made a lot of sense to me, you know, about that if she had a good lawyer, that, you know, they weren't going to go ahead and arrest her now. It just gave me a little bit of peace of mind to think that that could be a possibility, because, you know, we're all screaming, arrest Jen Soto, you know?
Right. Well, just to clarify what I said about the lawyer, just so that we 100% well, what I said was that a good attorney would not allow her to testify without immunity. So
right.
And
yeah, I thought that was really great insight. You know, it's the first time I've ever heard that. So it made a lot of sense to me. And I just think it's great that, you know, a professional finally came on, you know, the chat and said something, you know, because I've been wondering about, you know, being accountable for taking all those meds and, you know, who's monitoring them, you know?
Right.
You know, I know New York State is really strict.
Yep.
So
I think that I would hope.
I love your channel.
Sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Were you going to say something else?
No, I was going to say that that I believe that Florida has very strict you know, controlled substances laws as well, because remember, there's a lot of elderly people who are in Florida, so that's like the drug capital of the country, really, like when it comes to like pain management and stuff that older people will need for like joints and stuff like that. So I think they got some tough stuff. I think all of the medication she was taking, she was supposed to take. I don't think that she was like a drug dealer or dealing with drugs, but I just feel like she was negligent with her child. I really do think so.
I totally agree with you. And I, you know, in the beginning, I didn't form my opinion right away, but after listening to everything and, you know, other people's insight into it, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I totally agree with you as far as she should be held accountable.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
And I don't know. Thank you. That I just really liked that suggestion, or you know what you said about lawyering up. I thought that was great.
All right.
You know.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, we're gonna go to the next call now. Thank you so much.
Too.
Appreciate
you. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Next call. I saw somebody was holding. I was about to switch over, but you rang out. So call in again. And somebody asked for a poll. Should Jen Soto be arrested? All right. Hi. Welcome to Strategiceyes Show. How you doing there?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing all right. What's your name?
My name is Bree, and I'm from Alabama.
All right. Nice to meet you, Bree, from the Bama. Appreciate you for calling in, showing love to my channel. What do you got for me?
So I have two ideas that I just thought about the other day about Jen's culpability. And the first thing is, what were they?
First of all, we don't do ideas here. We do theories. So let me hear your theory. No, I'm just joking. I'm being a dick. Go ahead.
But my first theory is like, what was Jen and Stefan doing the whole day in the townhouse alone after she got back from her appointment? After Stefan did all that he did, they were just sitting in the house doing nothing all day. Like, what were they doing? And because I remember I watched somebody else's video, they went over the evidence, and I believe that they said that there was like blood on sheets in the downstairs makeshift room for Maddie and blood in like the upstairs room where Stefan was, like the room number 4. So if that stuff was left behind, were they just went up to Jen's room, did nothing all day, like didn't see any of that? Were they trying to clean up? Like that really just like, I don't know. It just what were they doing? Trying to cover up, create a story, this, that, whatever. So that was one thing that really bothered me, and I just thought about the other day.
It's a good observation, absolutely. I mean, I think they questioned her on that, and she was very vague. She said that when she came home from her appointment, that he was on the computer and on his phone, and then he left. So I think that might have answered your question. That's off the top of my dome, though. I'd have to go back because there's so much information, and there's multiple interviews. But I think that he did not stay there long. Yeah, he did leave. So to answer your question, because now we're going to turn that theory into a question. She came home and he was there on his computer and a phone, and then shortly thereafter, he left, and he went to go do other things. And then she left, so she was home alone. Then she left to go get Maddie. And that's when she started doing all these things. But a really interesting question is, why was Stephen Stearns the last person that she called, even though he was the last person to be seen with her daughter? So remember, she went to the school, she went to the grandmother, she called the girlfriend, the Maddie's girlfriends up, she emailed the teachers, got an email back, then spoke to the teachers. She spoke to all these people, and then finally, after she's spoken to at least 6 different separate entities, she finally then called Stephen Stearns to bring him up to speed that Maddie's missing. When for most normal people, and when I say normal, I mean nothing about her mental health.
Right.
Because she can't help that. That does not make her not a normal person. But for most normal people who have common sense, the last person you would call, if you have common sense and your mental illness is not enough that it will stop you from calling the school, driving a car, going to grandma's job, emailing the teachers, speaking to minor children and all that stuff, that means you have some semblance of common sense. Why didn't you call the first person, or rather the last person who saw your child? Why wasn't that the first person you called? That's a real question.
Yeah.
What's the second thing you got for me?
Yeah, it kind of piggybacks off of that because, you know, she also, I mean, I think in the interview it said, oh, Stefan couldn't come with her to pick up Maddie because he had a flat tire, but he made it home. You know, he could have went in the car with Jen. But also I do feel like all those things she was doing was to, I don't know, either buy Stefan time, because she used to be a sub at that school. And so she would probably be aware of some of the staff. She could have called a staff member, not just email a staff after staff hour, you know, school hours. So I feel like she intentionally was trying to buy him time to do, I don't know, any last minute things, because the police could have been called immediately if she went in was like, oh, she wasn't here all day. Okay, let's call the police now. So I think she intentionally delayed, you know, reporting it, because I think she knew for sure.
I agree with you. I think, and remember, she didn't report it till late in the afternoon, like around 6 or 7 o'clock. So yeah, I agree with you. All right, I'm gonna let you go because we gotta go to the next caller. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Love what you do. You're great.
Thank you so much. Peace. Next caller, what's going on?
Hi, oh my God, one of my favorite guys. Do you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh my God. Hello, guys in the chat. I've been following this case.
All right, perfect. First of all, what's your name? What's your name?
I'm from Philly, JJ, and the chat always bothering.
Okay. And where are you calling from?
Philadelphia.
Philly, okay. Let me move my phone over here where I can see it, you know, my wallet. My wallet upstairs? Okay, just making sure, because you from Philly, man. Y'all dangerous out there. No, I'm just joking.
Nobody else gotta know. My phone.
So what's up, Philly? What you got for me?
Oh my God, you know, Philly, New York, how we do.
Talk to me.
This case has been terrible, has given me panic attack, and knowing that she's from where I'm from in Puerto Rico is just crazy. You know, it's crazy to us. I think she's part of it. There's no way you're not part of it.
Yeah, she probably
There's no way. Yeah. I think that the FBI, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous here.
No, it's okay.
But I think the FBI just keeping it quiet for us to calm down. But I think that they're going to get her.
They might. They might get her. The news sources have clearly said keywords. Remember, when we're dealing with true crime, we're looking at the keywords, right? That's how you solve these riddles, right? The keyword is there's no plans of charging her now or at this moment. That they constantly said things like that. Like, it could still happen. They're just not doing it right now. All right. And it could just be that they want her to get a false sense of security, that, oh, they're not looking at me. Could be. I believe they have enough, but they could be in a room right now saying, hey, we got her on a misdemeanor charge. But why stop there? Why arrest her on this misdemeanor charge and then try and upgrade it later? How about we keep doing what we're doing and we try and get her on a big charge? All right. But the only thing is,
one thing that you did. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
One thing you did said it. You prepare us. You said this could happen.
Yeah, I tried.
This may happen.
This is my.
And you prepared us.
I thank you. I thank
you.
And
I like that. You did prepare us.
I appreciate you. You know, my purpose is to try and educate you guys based off of my experience, how these things work. And it is what it is. But, you know, I do tell my theories on here. I'm not always going to be correct. I tell you guys my theories. I tell you guys what I
love
think.
The attitude. The attitude. Remember when you in this, especially the case so big, people's going to put it different ways. It's us.
Yeah.
And I raised 4 kids by myself. This, and I'm proud of myself. You don't need no man to take care of your kids. You need a job. You need education. You need to provide and show your kids how you do the living of tomorrow and how you live. I'm so sorry for my people that is suffering because of her. Sad, very sad story. We don't know how to take it. As you hear my voice is constantly crying, tears, because this poor angel went through a lot.
Yeah, she did.
I know she did.
Well, thank you for your call. I really appreciate you. I got to move on to the next caller, right? Thank you for watching and supporting
I understand.
me.
A lot of kisses and keep growing, keep growing. We're waiting for this.
Let's keep going. How you say let's keep going in Spanish?
Aquí nos vamos.
Aquí nos vamos.
Saludos a todos.
I love it.
Aquí nos vamos.
That's right. Have a good one. Appreciate
That's
you.
the way you say it in English. Okay.
Peace. All right. All right. So I'm taking. All right. Hold on 1 second, caller. 1 second. I just want to say, guys, that you know, the previous caller said something interesting. Said her people are suffering. Nobody should be looking down on Puerto Rican people. This is not the Puerto Rican culture. I grew up in New York City. I grew up in Harlem around Puerto Rican people. They're really nice people, great culture, beautiful women. Shouldn't say that. Wifey, please don't kill me. I'm sorry. I dated a few Puerto Ricans before. But they're nice people. Nobody should be judging Puerto Ricans like this is what Puerto Ricans do, neglect their children. That's just not the case. They're big on family. All right, so now, caller, what's going on? Where you calling from, caller?
Hey, I'm in Cape Coral, Florida.
Okay, what's your name?
Fort Myers. Robin.
Robin, nice to meet you, Robin.
I emailed you, I think, last week.
Okay,
How
cool.
are you?
I'm doing all right. Appreciate you. I'm here.
This channel's great.
Thank you.
Oh, for years I followed true crime. This is the best so far.
Wow, that's
Grizzly, you are up there.
That's a big statement,
man.
man.
Yeah, your numbers are they're gonna fly. You're gonna blow up.
Oh,
definitely.
Man. I hope the haters don't come with those numbers. I hope not. I'm a nice guy. Come on, please don't hurt me, guys. I'm a nice guy.
Absolutely.
I don't want to hurt anybody.
Well, you can tell you're very authentic, sir. Very authentic.
Appreciate you. So what do you got for me, Robin?
A lot in this community. This is the thing. This has been bugging me since day one.
Okay.
All right. Now, this piece of garbage has been hurting her for years, right? I'm a mom of a survivor, okay? It was not to this extent. Doesn't matter. It's all bad. But
I'm sorry to
nothing to this extent. Yeah. So this hurts me because this could have been my daughter if I had acted differently, maybe. But I was a helicopter mom. She was preemie back in the day. So, you know. But she came to me at a very young age. I won't even, it's upsetting to even say, but very young. And when she told me about something last night, I was on it. I was on it. I didn't care if it was her dad, my husband, whatever. I was on that. You got to listen. And I did everything I could. You know, I called the abuse hotline. I didn't know what to do, of course. And the state of my mental, when I tell you I lost like 3 dress sizes in a month, I'm not lying. You know, there's no eating, sleeping. It was back when the OJ trial was going on. I couldn't even go to work. I remember just standing there all day watching that. Standing, sitting, trying to get my thoughts collected for when she got home and I could act like, you know, be able to discuss things rationally and not be in my crazy emotions, you know, crying or growing up or, you know, whatever. I had to pretend normal, you know, in a sense. Now, if she came to her mother, sweet Madeline, if she came to her mother at any point, which I'm going to assume was probably around when it started, because it was what it was. So I'm assuming she was younger when she went to her mother. Now, okay, I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around how her mother didn't do something. All right, but that's neither here nor there. She's a different person.
Okay.
And she's nutty or whatever. Now, how then can years are going on, right? And I'm sure there's other clues. I'm sure maybe she said something more than once. I'm sure that's why there were fights, possibly. You know, Maddie didn't trust her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But if that night, these years later even, and she's telling her to still go sleep with him, go in the bed with him upstairs. Now, she already got knowledge about something. Wouldn't that, how can she continue to keep sending her with him knowing, I believe she knew, but I don't understand how she knew in a sense, but pushed it away.
Well, then she just didn't care. So you're trying to look at it from your perspective, somebody who has morality and who would do the right thing and make reports, etc. But if she doesn't, she already answered that question. Your question has already been answered. During the police interview, she said it's not evil for her to be sexually abused, but it's evil for murder. So your line is no child should be sexually abused. That's all of our line, right?
Oh, no.
No, her line is not that. Her line is no child should be killed. Because in her eyes, it's evil to kill a child, but it's not evil to sexually abuse a child. That's her words. So I think that answers your question. If she did in fact find out that her child was being molested, if Maddie went to her, because I haven't seen that yet, I've only heard rumors about it. But if she did go to Maddie, and
I would imagine she would.
Right, and if she did go to her mother and said, "Hey, listen, I was sexually abused," and her mother didn't do anything about it, it's because what she said in her statement. I don't think that there's anything bad with it.
It's not evil.
Right.
Whoosh. Okay. I'm just blown. I guess the whole case is triggering, but I'm just hoping for justice because my ex got away with it. She was very young, and of course there were no pictures, thank God, or anything, but went on to, I get a call 10 years later from a detective in New Jersey, where I'm from, who's telling me there's 3 7-year-old victims.
Right.
So he wants me to open up can I, or get a hold of my daughter to open up the records, because they had been sealed in the court and stuff because she was young, you know. I mean, I went to court and got sole custody.
I understand.
And had everything on the record with CYFIS and everything on my behalf, thank God. So he, you know, and I can't find the thing to that case either, but
we do have to go to another call. I hate to stop you.
Love you.
We're running out of time.
Go. I'm here. I love you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. We are running out of time, guys. Remember, I told you I want to kind of be true to that 2-hour mark. If we go over just a tad bit, it's okay. We can't be here till 2:30. Let's go to the next call. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Strategic Eyes Show. Thanks for coming through, showing love. Who is this?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Jess from Tampa, Florida.
All right, nice to meet you. Did you say Jet?
Jess, J-E-S-S.
Got you. How you doing, Jess? Welcome to the Strategic Eyes Show.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How long you been with the show?
Maybe 2 months.
2 months? Okay, cool. Appreciate you, man. So talk to me. What's going on? Yeah, a little something. Let's not let it get to their head for somebody pop that bubble. Gotta stay humble. I'm growing just a little bit. Please don't hurt me. What's going on? What you got for me?
I wanted to commend you for you did a show the other day for like what happens if you're in a situation where you get assaulted.
Absolutely. Yes.
You go to the hospital.
To me, that is the most important show that I've done. That is the most important show. If there's a show that should have 50,000 likes, like one of my recent shows had 50,000 views, it should be that show. And the other one about what to expect. But it is what it is. It's out there for whoever needs it. Go watch it. If you don't need it, you're not curious, then don't watch it. But go ahead. What's going on?
Definitely. So I just wanted to say that I am a survivor.
Okay.
Going through it as a 40-year-old lady. So when I was younger, you know, and I had kids young, and I was fine because I was always busy. But then it got to a point where now everything that you wanted in life, your goals are met. So now you're by yourself in your thoughts, and now I'm going through it.
Okay.
Front and center. But I'm getting help. But the show that you made with that, it was so important to me because I wish that I had that when I was younger.
Wow.
Like somebody to tell me there are people out there to help you. You're not alone. So I just thought I wanted to thank you for that. You should be doing that in schools. Like, I will always treasure you for that. And I love the show. Keep going. I love your energy. And that's it.
Well, thank you so much. That really touched me in the heart. And I look forward to the day that you can call this show up and you could tell me, hey, Strategic, this is Jess. I'm not a survivor anymore. I'm a warrior. You're going to get there, all right?
Right. I'm going to get there. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right. Nice call, man. Nice call. And, I'm so sorry that there are just ugly people out there that hurt people. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty. You guys know me. I'm a very descriptive person, but I don't know. Hey, what's up, caller? Give me 1 second. Let me just finish the thought real quick. This will be the last call of the day, by the way, because we're at 1:55. Maybe one more. We'll take one more after this one. I don't know how there are people out there who are willing to take advantage of defenseless people's bodies. I just don't get it. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get that out of my lips. I'll never understand it. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've locked a lot of people up. I will continue to lock a lot of people up until the day I hang it up and retire. I will never understand why there are men, women, it doesn't matter what your sexuality is. I have LGBTQIA cases. I don't understand why this exists in the human spirit and that people can do this to other people. That being said, what's going on, caller? Welcome to the Strategiceyes show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Jillian and I'm from Lawrence, Massachusetts.
All right, Massachusetts. How you doing there? What brings you to the show today?
I just wanted to say, thank you for doing this. I know you're doing it out of your free time, and I really like hearing your opinion as a professional. And I think, it really changed my opinion about law enforcement. The last couple of years with my community, it's been hard to trust them again, but to know that there are people that are good and, are trying to help the community, I really think that that's positive, and you bring positivity towards law enforcement. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that. I just want to say that a lot of what you hear on the news is myth. It's not real. A lot of what you hear from the activists is mixed bag. I don't want to go into politics and all that stuff. I just want to tell you, I grew up not liking police because I grew up in a community that was over-policed. And then when I went into law enforcement and I started looking at the world through the eyes of a police officer, correction officer, and all the different jobs I've worked in law enforcement, I started understanding why my community was over-policed. Because it was legitimately dangerous community. Because as a grown man, I still have PTSD of all the dead bodies I saw in that community that was not because of cops, was because of people in my community killing each other. There was a time in my career where I saw more dead bodies from growing up in the hood than I did as a police officer, where part of your job is to go sit on natural cause deaths. And we know how often people die from natural causes. So I'm seeing more dead people as a young kid growing up from the gangbangers and the drug dealers shooting each other than old ladies and old men who have died after living long lives. That's a problem. What happens is, in every single profession out there, you're gonna have bad people. I remember when I was growing up, and one of the first times I had a gun put to my head was from a member of the NYPD. I'm cracking jokes in the staircase and I hear footsteps coming up, but we're in a project staircase, so there's footsteps coming up and down all the time. We're not bad kids. I'm a straight A student. I don't have one of those stories where I was a thug and then I changed my life. No, I was raised right. I was a straight A student from day one all the way through college. And I'm just cracking jokes with the homies, and all I feel is all the heat getting pulled off the back of my head, and I turn around and it's an NYPD officer with a Long Island accent with a gun to my head asking me if I'm smoking crack. There's bad people in every single profession. But when my brother passed away from natural causes, I still remember to this day that the thing that kept me from breaking down and falling into pieces was another NYPD cop who supported me and my family and sat there with us and absorbed all that pain that we were pouring out into the universe because we lost our brother and my mother's son. So there's a mixed bag. But I want to just say one last thing. I'm sorry for preaching to you because, of course, I'm law enforcement. So this is something that's near and dear to me. When you leave the patrol realm, the cops with the uniform, where, listen, you're going to find bad officers sometimes. When you start getting into the investigators and the specialized unit people, the crime scene people, these people in most instances are the creme de la creme. They were hand selected for these positions because of their dedication to law enforcement, their dedication to victims, and their dedication to the community. And these folks are out there trying to solve these cases and trying to bring justice and trying to give a voice to the voiceless. But I'll even go backwards and say, even those patrol officers, people have no idea the battles that we fight on those streets every single day. The war stories I could tell you, ma'am, of the amount of times I've been assaulted, the amount of times I've had to use force on people, even though I'm not a violent person, the amount of times I've had to pull my gun out, the amount of times I've had to fight people who've literally trying to kill me. I've said it on the show. One of the most recent ones was when a guy was trying to stab me. And we're fighting over the knife like a movie. And I got my gun to his head saying, I'm going to blow your head off if you don't stop. And finally, we were able to get the knife away from him. I could have been on the news. You guys could have known me for more infamy than just the Strategic Eyes show. So please, people, if your police department, and we're going to end the show with this call here. If your police department is not policing you correctly, make sure you do go out there and you march and you let your voices be heard and you speak to your legislatures and you get better training. You get the policing that you deserve, but don't hate your cops. Because the vast majority of them are warriors out there trying to protect you. And the news will never cover the good cops. They will only cover the bad cops. And just keep that in mind. You got anything else for me before I let you go? You're the last caller, so I'm giving you a bonus.
Well, I just want to say too, like, you remind me of my late father. Mm-hmm. So I really I love your perspective, your upbringing, very similar to mine. And, I think the Spirit's working through you to do this good work. So really thank you for you and your brothers and all the work that you do. I appreciate you. That's really kind of you, especially to say that I remind you of your father. I know he was a great man, and you sound like a well-rounded young lady. And I'm gonna act my age now and be old. You're a very well-rounded young lady there. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna let you go and I'm gonna end the show. I really appreciate you calling, and what you said was very kind. Great callers today. See you later. Thank you. Be safe. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, guys. I'm sorry I went on a little rant, but, this is something that is near and dear to me. I hope it makes sense. There are bad people out there, and you people out there deserve police officers that's going to do right by you. And I have war stories with police officers, too. Police officers didn't always do right by me as a citizen. All right. So in no way am I saying that we should not be out there trying to get change. Absolutely. But don't hate your cops, guys. Don't hate them. They're good people. They just want to serve. And some of them, they shouldn't be cops. And we should be focusing on getting those bad apples out. But we should definitely understand that the vast majority out there serving the people and risking their life to keep you safe and keep you shielded from this darkness out there, man. Like, listen, guys, I'm going to leave you with this last tidbit before I get out of here. I wasn't always a very spiritual person. I've always been in the church, but never like super spiritual and all that stuff. When I put on that uniform, guys, I really started noticing that there's evil out there. And I'm not trying to turn this into some kind of like conspiracy religious situation. I'm not saying that, man. I'm just telling you, man, when you get into certain situations, you get around certain people and the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up. Why is that happening? Why am I in the presence of this other human being, but I'm frightened? I'm not afraid of them. If they want to fight, we can fight. But for some reason, something inside of me is afraid. They're exuding an energy that's making me scared of them. There's people out there like that. When I put that uniform on, I really started understanding that there is something called good and evil. And this case here, this Madeline Sotos case, is one of those cases where you start seeing good and evil. Only somebody evil could do what Stephen Stearns did to that little girl. Understand, when he started his abuse, she was a baby. The universe, God, nature, whatever you believe in, they make children to have these cute little baby faces that inside of you
instinctively, you just want to protect them. He looked at that face that is designed, intelligently designed to exude protection from us, from our souls. He looked at that for sexual gratification. He is evil. He is evil, ladies and gentlemen. There's something called good and evil. I hope I didn't go too far in this one. I try and not take it to these different levels. I'm sure you people don't want to hear it, but I don't know. I guess we'll leave it on that note. So guys, like and subscribe on the channel. You guys are amazing. Please consider becoming a member of Strategic Eyes Show. Let me end this poll right here. Let's see what we got. For the call-in show, we had 182 people vote. 88% said they liked the call-in show and 11% said no. Hey, listen, we try and give everybody a little bit. The call-in shows at the end of the show. So if you just wanted to catch the rant that I usually do, then you catch that and then you leave for the call-in show, you know. But definitely, I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to keep doing it. Sundays will always be our call-in shows. So look out for Sundays. Those are our call-in shows. Make sure that you hit that like button and you support the channel. Understand that that's the only way that the channel's going to grow. So if you want us to grow, then you hit the like button. If you don't want us to grow, then you don't hit the like button. If you're selfish and you want me all to yourself and you're like, I don't want his channel to get bigger. I don't want 1,000 people in the chat and he can't see my comments. I want the show to stay small just for me. I want Strategic to be my mistress, my secret internet love. Come on, don't be like that. There's enough Strategic to go around. You can share me with the world. Hit that like button, help the channel go around, and that's it. Lastly, we do have merchandise. A lot of people's buying the merchandise, and we appreciate that. Some people said that they want hats and they want bags. We made bags. They sold a few, and then for some reason, it disappeared out of our store. We don't know why. We're going to figure that out. We will have shopping bags for you to do your grocery shopping with Strategic Eyes bags, and we're going to have hats. And like with all of our things, we try and keep the price low, so we're not trying to price gouge you guys. We're just trying to keep it low so everybody can be able to get some of the merch, and just like we want everybody to be able to be a part of the membership. So consider becoming a member. Consider getting some merch. Hit the like button. Comment. And for the replay crew, last thing, and then we're out of here. For the replay crew, we need your engagement. So if you don't want to say something in the chat, just say where you're from. Michigan, Australia, UK, whatever. You have to say nothing else. Just say where you're from so we get an idea of how far the Strategic Eyes Show is reaching in these YouTube streets, okay? So do me a favor. Stay safe. Love your family members. I see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.